Welcome back, math friends, to another exciting episode of Inequalities. Today we're looking at solving inequalities. And if you know how to solve equations, you can pretty much solve inequalities in the exact same way. There is one minor difference, but we'll save that as a little surprise for later in the video. Let's first of all start off. Now remember, you can solve inequalities the same way you solve equations. And so, I like to use, since I know I'm going to be solving inequalities using the order of operations in reverse, I'll bring in old SADMEP here. And because I know that when I solve equations, I am going to undo any adding or subtracting of constants first. So I'm going to find any constant here, and I'm going to undo the adding or subtracting of the constant. And I look at my inequality here. This is 2x plus 5 is less than 11. Okay? Now, the constant I'm going to undo the adding or subtracting of is the 5. It's a positive 5, and so to undo that, I'm going to subtract 5. And because I'm going to draw the line through my inequality too, and because I did it on one side of my line, I have to do it to the other side as well. So I'm going to subtract 5. These two 5s cancel each other out, and I'm left with just 2x on this side of my inequality, and 11 minus 5 is 6. 2x less than 6. All right, well, I'm getting there. Next step, I have to undo the multiplication or division of any coefficient. Okay, so the coefficient I'm looking for, let's see, coefficient, I have 2x. Okay, that's my term is 2x, but the coefficient is the 2, and that 2 is being multiplied by the x, so I have to undo that multiplication by dividing by that same 2. And so 2 divided by 2 is 1. So they cancel each other out because 1 times x is just simply x. So x is less than, what is 6 divided by 2? Well, that's 3. So the solution to our problem, our inequality, is x is less than 3. And so that means any and all numbers that are less than 3. So if I were to do this on a number line, I would just sketch in a number line real quick, draw some dashes on there. I'm going to find, that looks like a good spot for 3. And then I will circle it. And x is all numbers that are less than 3. So I will draw my line going that way. All numbers less than 3. Now, to verifying solutions to inequalities is a little bit different than verifying solutions for equations, because we have to actually find a number that is less than 3 to put into our verification. So I'm going to rewrite my original equation, 2x plus 5 less than 11. Now, x has to be less than 3. So what number is less than 3? Well, let's pick something easy. 2 is less than 3. So I'm going to put in 2 for x. So 2 times 2, because 2 is less than 3, plus 5. Will that be less than 11? Well, let's see. Remember, we have to use PEMDAS to prove. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 5 is 4 plus 5 less than 11. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 is definitely less than 11. So, yeah, we did it. It all checks out. That's what we needed. 9 is less than 11. So our inequality is correct. How fantastic is that? Well, let's take a look at another one for practice. All right, it's down here. There it is. Okay, we've got negative 2x plus 5 is less than 19. All right, so remember, we're still going to use our order of operations backwards, SADMEP, PEMDAS in reverse, and we will undo the adding or subtracting of any constant first. The constant I see is positive 5, so I'm going to undo that. Draw my line down through here. I'm going to undo the adding of 5 by subtracting 5 from both sides. Those two will cancel each other out, and I end up with negative 2x is less than 19 minus 5 is 14. All right, so now I have to undo the division or multiplication of any coefficient. Okay, so where's my coefficient? Let's see, I see negative 2x. And what's the coefficient here? Well, it's the negative 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Now we just cancel those two out, and then x is less than 14 divided by negative 2 is, well, that's negative 7. Okay, now so we've got this. Let's verify our solution. Got to make sure we verify our solution. And so I'm going to got to find a number that's less than negative 7. So any number that's to the left of 7 on the negative 7 on the number line. So how about, let's see, on a number line, here's negative 7. Well, negative 8 is less than negative 7. So I'm going to put that in here. So negative 2x plus 5 is less than 19. I'm going to pick negative 8, so negative 2 times negative 8 plus 5, is that less than 19? Well, negative 2 times negative 8 is 16. 16 plus 5, is that less than 19? Well, 16 plus 5 is 21. Is 21 less than 19? Uh-oh, we did something wrong. Something is not right here. That's no good. He looks like he's got a black eye. There is definitely something wrong here. What did we do? Oh, shoot. I forgot to tell you about the golden rule of inequalities. The golden rule of inequalities is very, very important. The golden rule of inequalities. Let me write that down for you really quick, and I'm going to show you what that is. Nope, scroll up, there we go, the golden rule of inequality. So the golden rule of inequality states, whenever you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, you must flip the inequality symbol. If you don't, you'll get the wrong answer. So let's try this again. Well, let's follow the golden rule. Negative 2x plus 5 less than 19. Okay, we subtracted 5 from both sides, right? And when we did that, those two canceled out. We have negative 2x. 19 minus 5 is 14. The second step was to divide by negative 2. Those negative 2's cancel each other out. And x, whoops, almost forgot, sorry. Negative 2x is less than 14, but now we divide by the negative 2. We have to flip the inequality so it's facing the other direction. And 14 divided by negative 2 is negative 7. X is greater than negative 7. And let's see if that's true. So if we, on a number line, right, we find negative 7 on a number line. What's greater than negative 7? Anything to the right, so how about negative 6? So let's put that back in to our inequality and test it. Negative 2 times x plus 5 less than 19. So negative 2 times, and we're going to pick negative 6, like I said, plus 5, is that less than 19? Negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12, plus 5, is that less than 19? Well, 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 is less than 19. So it works. The golden rule. Remember the golden rule. It's super important. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you got to flip your inequality. If you don't remember that, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Anyway, have a great day. Don't forget to be awesome. Remember the golden rule. And we'll see you next time.